Cheetah, I know it's your turn to ask the question. So let's see what you got, man.
Oh man, I hadn't even thought of one. But if we had to bring one up, I guess I'm gonna ask: was Mark Marquez dropping oil on the in the race? Because everybody behind him that was in leading behind him, Bez, Digi, besides Alex was behind him too. Maybe he gave him the brother a little pass. Maybe he told him, I'm going to drop oil on lap 2, lap 3 on the right side or something. Because Zarco, Acosta, everyone behind him, boom, went down 5, 6, 7 people. And then all of a sudden you got Marini Binder all of a sudden in top 10.
The second place curse.
Yeah. So, I mean, what's going on, man? Is it Marquez Manor right now? That's what they said, right? It's Marquez Manor. And he's not putting his foot off anyone's neck right now.
Right. I agree with you as far as it is Marquez. Well, we already knew the Saxo ring is Marquez's, but it seems like the title is coming close to the summer break, Smitty. So I think the title, might be out of reach for anyone else. So I might finally throw in the towel.
I've said it since race 1.
No, I feel really bad for Bezzecchi and Digia because one, Bezzecchi had a rough year last year on trying to get that 23 bike right on the Ducati. So for him to be back up front like he was in 2022, I know he feels really good. So that, I mean, even though he had the win in Silverstone and he had the 2 podiums in Assen, he was close, and he seems to be the closest guy to push Mark at the moment. Digi's finding his way, and I think it's the same thing. These guys they're riding the fastest they've ridden all year. And now they're finding out their limitations, or they're finding the limits, or trying to manage the limits, because when you're back in 8th or 9th place or 7th place or anything like that, you still have to deal with the rider in front of you. But when he's out front like that, so I feel really bad for those 2 crashing. Also Costa, Costa, that was really bad. Because same thing. He's had a tough time last year. And, to see all those guys go down, out on the plus side, it helps out Marini, because coming back, getting a 6th place for Honda, that's a good look. Zarco is another guy that, he was second on the grid and crashed out as well. And so it's, I don't think it's Marquez's oil coming off the right boot. But you know what I'm saying?
Listen, Mark was on a different level, man. He was the only person hitting consistent 20s the whole race.
Yeah.
And nobody could get into the 20s. And then he started dipping into 21s later in the race. But Rossi's only chance, Digi went down. You know what I'm saying? He was right there, and he was up there giving everyone a shot for that podium, but unfortunately he goes down. So it would have been him and Bez probably battling it out, honestly. But unfortunately, both those guys went down. So yeah.
All right, Smitty, what do you want to add to that?
No. I mean, I kind of agree. Thought he said, but like I said, I still don't understand why people kept crashing. Honestly, it doesn't make any sense. Probably they saw Marquez and tried to match his pace. It couldn't do it, and they kind of rode above their limits, and that's why they crashed. But it was always turn 1, so but I can't put my finger on why they kept crashing,
Yeah.
And then, but hold on now, Marquez as usual. I'm not saying. Hold on, well, Rex. So you just said that they're trying to push to get closer to him. They aren't. They're just happy to get 2nd place. That's all, honestly, man. I think those guys are all fighting for 2nd place now, because they know they're not beating Mark.
Yeah,
they might not win. They might not win the championship, but they're not fighting for 2nd place.
Yes.
None of those guys are. Listen, man. I know it's easy to say, but there's nobody fighting. Maybe some Cantor, but there's nobody else fighting for 2nd place. Like, Bez is out of the VR46 Academy. He's on the bike. Them guys are not trying to fight. Rossi don't believe in 2nd place. Come on, man.
That's Rossi. It's different.
He's the owner of the team. So he's not going to have riders who are trying to phone it home.
Okay, Rex. All right, listen. It's racing. Racing. There are pockets of racing, right? There's group 1 through 5, 6 through 10, and so forth, right? And those first 5 guys are trying to get 1st place. Those 6 through 10, they're kind of seeing, okay, you know what? Can I hit the 3rd spot on the podium? Maybe probably a best top 5. Right now, there's one pocket, and that's Mark. Then everybody else is their own pocket of racing. Be honest with you. It ain't gonna happen. Marquez is the only guy that could beat himself. But so far this year, but has Mark lost like yet? I mean, like gotten beat straight up yet? Has he?
Not yet. He's been
No.
close.
No.
Okay then.
But if he crashes out, so other people have won.
That's
I
the
mean,
only- that's the
there's
only
three
chance.
there's two other winners. So I mean, it is what it is. What are your thoughts, Jake?
So different sport, but on topic. 50 days before the NFL season starts, and you have the Cleveland Browns, you have the Rams, you have Chicago Bears, you have the Patriots. Everybody goes to mini camp thinking we're going to the Super Bowl.
Right.
Every team thinks that they're going to win the Super Bowl. So why would a writer, a professional, think, you know what? Yeah, I'm a professional. I'm going to go for second place. Come on. Another thing I'd like to add to our friend Cheetah here. Welcome back, Cheetah. I love you. There seems to be a terrible, terrible conspiracy with everybody on this show. Every time Mark wins, it's oil from his boot. He waited for the last minute to run off the track to change tires. He's going really hard, and then he's slowing down so Alex can catch up. Why can't we just be legendary, guys? Why can't we just be legendary? Why can't we just give the man his props? He's great. Everybody sucks. And that's it. There's no conspiracy. He's not cheating. He's just legendary. I just want to hear that once from everybody on the panel.
Nah.
He is legendary, no doubt. I mean, he is one of the greatest riders to ever ride. No one's not saying we're not saying he's not.
He's the GOAT.
But at the end of the day, Magic was nasty. Jordan was nasty. But if you're in Boston, you're rooting for Boston. It is what it is. I mean, so I have nothing against Marquez at all. But at the end of the day, those other riders on the grid, they want to win.
Yeah, they do. And I want to respond. I want to get a chance to respond to Bobby Shakes. The thing is, you comparing football to motorcycling, first off, is a sin, right? Because one, you're talking about a team sport versus individual. So every team may come together and bond together and say, we're going to make it to the Super Bowl.
Right.
But when you out there by yourself on the bike you've been on, and you continue to push by yourself, and your team is just sending you messages that you see on your dash, and at every start finish line you see a message saying how far someone is behind you or in front of you. That's all you get. So at the end of the day, you might have to settle for second place. If you know racing, that's how it goes. You just know the better man is the better man. It comes out in qualifying pretty quickly. Starting the first 5 minutes, you can tell if you're watching the time. There's a guy out there that's just putting it down early. Still 3 seconds off race pace, but he's just out there, already faster than everyone.
So let's just cancel the season and give Marquez a trophy.
Nobody gives up, though. People are still going to go box if it's a boxing match, no matter how good the other person is, right? You don't give it your all. But there is a reality on not to chase Marc Marquez because you're going to burn your tires out chasing a guy like that.
And crash.
You're going to crash, or you're going to burn your tires out and not be ready to push the rest of the race distance to keep Pecco behind you if you're Alex, right? You can't chase your brother. You know how fast your brother is. So does the rest of the grid, though. So this ain't a team sport, man. It's different. You get humbled pretty quick.
But that could be the problem with the sport.
You ever seen those NBA teams where the bench is still talking about they got a ring, they never played it? How many minutes you play? No minutes. But they can still brag about it. Because that's a team sport. The team carries you.
Right, but there's also a team too in racing. There's a whole
but
there's a team if you're a boxer.
Mechanics, there's engineers, there's a whole team behind you, and I get it. Yeah, it's you on the grid.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think anyone on that level, if you're on that level and you're just gonna do the bare minimum, and you're not going to push it. Fans want to see pushing it. I want to see you push it on ball tires and crash, and I say that's what I want. I don't want to see.
Guess what? The
just
difference is,
meddling it
Bobby,
in.
the difference is you want your team. Your team can, you can fumble the ball, your team will pick it up and might make the goal.
Right.
You crash out there or you lose that boxing match because it's a one-on-one. Boxing
There's
and
no goal,
racing are similar. No, guess what? Your team blames you afterwards. You do that a few times. Now what? They want to kick you off. That's your livelihood. That's what you're putting money on food for your family down. Right. So it's totally different, bro. It's like real. It gets real up there. They are struggling and fighting and clawing for every seat they have up there.
And second place is better than no place in racing.
Right. But yeah, as we saw in all those crashes, I don't think the top 3 guys were trying to finish second because they would have slowed down a little bit.
They had the pace.
and they were not. And not only that, the data gonna want you. They don't want to see that you're pushing. They don't want to see that you're not full gas. All right. They don't like, you know. So at the end of the day, they ain't got no choice but to send it or get on the podium.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?